What up? It's Kyle Davis. We got a game recap, some player breakdowns. We're going to see what Raider content creators are saying, and whatever else there is to discuss. Let's get it. Yo. Fair warning, be patient with me. I just got off at 12 at 6:42 a.m. Figured I'd do this before I get some rest. Now you kicking it on the couch with Cal. This is the living room view. Brain's working a little slow. All right, 49ers. 49er game. Preseason week 2. They got us 22-19. They got us, but that's all good. We saw some things in this game that I want to talk about. We definitely saw some improvement, right? We saw some improvement in a few areas. We saw some other areas that are worrisome, but we'll get to that. I want to talk about Jeanty first, right? Because week 1 of the preseason, what, he have 3 carries, -1 yard. We got everyone out there and their mama saying bust. Even the Seahawks is talking crap, man. That's bogus. Get out of here. Get out of here. Now, he hit the ground running. Now, granted, he only had 33 yards. 7 carries, though. 33 yards is decent. He got in there for a touchdown, but it wasn't the amount of yards he had. It was the way he was doing it. Just them power runs. He was not afraid. A rookie. And this dude, like, looking at him in the huddle, he isn't some giant. He ain't some big Derrick Henry back. No, but he's not afraid to go head to head with someone, man. And then you saw him, when that catch in the backfield comes out, just smacks him, got his shoulder, I believe. It looked like he had a little stinger. I was worried for a split second, but when I saw him moving, I was like, he's going to be all right. This dude's a soldier. So I like what the young buck was doing. I like what he was out there doing. I want to see more of that. Maybe protect yourself a little bit, because I don't want him going down. I want him staying healthy for the long haul, baby. All right, let's move on. Geno Smith, 6 for 8, 55 yards. That's respectable. It's just a preseason game, man. And I'll probably talk about this more later. I'm pretty sure I got it in my notes, but the way he's been throwing it, man. Just week 1 of preseason and week 2, he's throwing long balls. He's throwing it deep. I like to see it, because that's something we haven't seen for quite a while. Like, consistently. Now, we've seen it here and there, but consistently, it feels like it's been ages, when realistically it's probably only been 2, 3, 4 seasons. But it feels like it's been ages, especially when that's what we came up on. When Al Davis ran the team, what did he want? He wanted speedster on the outside, and he wanted you hitting the fucking 9, the go route. He wanted you hit that 9, baby. But Geno Smith has been looking good. I'm pretty excited for him. I've had my reservations in the past, and I'm still not, Geno's the hottest thing smoking, but he's definitely an upgrade from anything we've had in a long time. So let's just hope he stays on course. Let's get to the other 2 quarterbacks, huh? Let's talk about them other 2 quarterbacks. Now, if you just look at Aiden O'Connell's stat line, you'll look at him and be like, oh, that's not bad. 15 for 23, 138 yards, and an interception. No touchdowns, interception. Now, that interception is a black eye on that stat line, but the stat line on this is one of them many times where the stat line just does not draw the full picture. It doesn't paint the full picture for you. The stat line, you look at it, oh, decent day for the young guy. All right. No. You saw him in the pocket holding on to the ball too long. You saw him staring down receivers. You saw him throw a pick. I didn't even want to, I watched the All 22. I watched the game recap, and I watched the game live. So I've watched it 3 times now. And I didn't even want to pay attention to him out there because I just kept looking at him and yelling, like, get rid of the ball. I'm counting. 1, 2. Get rid of it. Like, once you get, like, in the NFL, you only get 2 to 3 seconds to throw the ball as a quarterback. And you got to get used to it. If you're getting 4, 5, 6 seconds, you got a fantastic O-line, or you're a mobile quarterback who's rolling out and avoiding that pressure, right? And what's AOC's biggest hang-up? Zero mobility. Zero mobility, people. AOC's biggest hang-up from day one has been zero mobility. So he can't afford to not make quick decisions because he ain't going to outrun nobody. Can you imagine if Max was on the defensive line coming at him? I mean, they do that in practice, but if we saw it in a real game, he'd be smoked. He'd be smoked. It'd be 3 and out every time because Max is in there. So, I mean, and I'm going a little hard on the guy, I'm not trying to. He's still young yet, and he's been through a lot. And we'll get to that later. I'll break some of that down later because I do got some bits that I heard from Lincoln Kennedy talking about him because I listen to all the podcasts out there. I like to plug a headphone in, go about my day listening to Raider content, dog. That's what I'm into. Let's go on to Cam Miller. And I did Cam Miller Pumpkin. It looked like it. It certainly looked like it, but he's young, so you really can't say that. He just had a good first preseason game, and we're all hyped up, and that's okay. As fans, that's what we're supposed to do, right? We're supposed to be hyped up, especially when it's something new. It's a new shiny rock. It's a new shiny car. It's a fresh outfit. You see him out there. It looks good. It's like, whew, I want some of that. Give me some of that. But then he comes out week 2, 2 for 6, 25 yards and a pick, and that pick was horrible. That pick was disgusting. I watched it like 3 or 4 times. I just kept rewinding it. Like, rewinding it. Just kept on rewinding it. Like, what is he doing wrong here? Well, you see on the live film what he did wrong. He threw a dead duck. He threw a dead duck right into no man's land, right? So you had a receiver, and then you had 2 defenders, one tight on the receiver, one a little in front of him, and he needed to have more zip on. If he'd had more zip on that ball, he could have fit it. He could have thread that needle. He had to have zip on the ball. So he could have thread that needle. I think that just comes with reps. And he's had a lot of reps in college. That's all I'm hearing. On all the shows I listen to, get on X, and you see people talking and discussing. That's all I see is he son of a coach, which is good, which is great. It means he's going to have good fundamentals out the gate. But then he's been in college quite a while. So he's been starting a while, and he's won. He won in college. So he's got experience on the college level. This isn't the NFL level. So now he's at the NFL level, and this ain't even the real NFL level, is it? This is preseason, where guys are trying to make the roster. Now, granted, these guys are fighting as hard as they can to make the roster. These guys have a job on the line. Every one of them. Especially when it's 2s and 3s. Especially when it's 3s. Come on. These guys got a job on the line. So they're playing their hearts out. The fact of the matter is they're just not as talented as the 1s. Otherwise, they'd be 1s. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to shade no one, not trying to diss no one. It's just what it is. So, as he's not playing against 1s, and it's a rookie mistake. Let's just chalk it up to that. The kid, he's got potential. We don't know where he's going to be, though. So let's pump the brakes on Cam Miller for QB2 as of now, because we don't know what he's going to be. This kid could turn out to be what everyone's saying, the next Tom Brady, because Tom Brady handpicked him, or he could turn out to be, I don't even know who to compare. He could turn out to be the next Jamarcus Russell. Not really. I'm just talking shit. Not really. But you know what I mean? So we don't know. moral of the story is we have no idea what this kid's going to be. We got to give him time to develop, period. And keep in mind that these schemes and these play calling, all I'm hearing, all I'm seeing, all I'm reading about, it's all vanilla. They're just doing basic things out there. They're not scheming up and throwing out plays out there that are game wreckers. They're not trying to do that. They're just trying to get a feel of the roster. Especially now, a new regime's coming in. Pete Carroll, compete, culture changer. He's coming in there to build a culture, to build a strong foundation. So right now, he's going through all the guys, figuring out who's staying, who's going. And they got 90 guys, and they got to cut down to 53. I think it's like 4 days after the final preseason game, which I do believe is Raiders-Cardinals is going to be the last preseason game this season, I believe. I could be mistaken there. I don't want to pull it up and risk my internet glitching out, so I'm not going to do that. But, yeah, so here real soon, in like a week and a couple days, 7 to 10 days, they gotta cut a bunch of people. So that's what this is all doing. We're trying to figure out who's staying, who's going. So don't want to give up the bag, don't want to give out the secrets, the secret special ingredients, the 11 herbs and spices. Don't want to give them up. So vanilla play calling it is. Cool. We did, however, I will say this. We had some bright spots, right? Look at our O-line. Our O-line this week compared to last week looked way better. They looked way more comfortable with each other. They're out there doing what they need to do, especially when the ones were in. I even liked some of what some backups were doing, and we'll get to that. But then again, we look better. We're improving. We're even improving from what we were last year. We look better. I know it's only preseason. I don't know what it is. It's something in the air. If it's all the content I'm absorbing, maybe it's getting to me. Maybe it's swaying my pessimist attitude that I've had this offseason, but I'm starting to get optimistic. Then again, the pessimism creeps back up, and it's like, it's not hard to look better than 4-13. It really ain't. It's not hard to look better than 4-13. 5-6 wins. See, I got us at I noticed a lot of people got us at this too. I'm thinking around 7-8 wins, and if some lucky breaks happen, we can make that 9. We can get that to 9. We get some lucky breaks in there. I don't want to say 10. Too much would have to go in our favor. Too much would have to go right for us to get 10. We could squeeze out 9. I don't know if we're making a wild card. I don't know. That's too early to call. Let's be real. We ain't seen nothing yet. As fans, we're not in the building. We ain't seen nothing yet. We've seen we see what they show us on social media from camp, and we see what's happening in preseason, which is, it's like a dotted, it's like, the number drawings you did as a kid, dotted lines, connect the dots. It's got the numbers by them, where you can kind of see the picture, like, I see what it's supposed to be, but I got to fill it in. We ain't filled it in yet because it's just preseason, right? It's just preseason. So we got to fill that in, but that gets filled in the regular season. So we're going to see how this goes. I'm not happy with our secondary. And we keep getting beat over the middle of the field. That is how we let them get a 3rd and 18. We let them convert. How? And I ain't the only one. I heard your boy Q, he was pointing out like there was 3 and 12. There was like a 4 and 9. It's just like, come on. Stop getting beat on these. These are gimmies for the defense. We got to stop getting beat on that. Especially when it's in the middle of the field. We've been having this problem. Now, my issue with it is we had this problem last season. The middle of the field was open. I watched the All-22. The middle of the field was open. I don't like that. We're going to be soft in the middle? I ain't no Pop-Tart. I don't want my team playing like Pop-Tarts. We ain't got to be soft in the middle. Let's get hard, son. Let's get it. All right, that's basically, that right there, that's basically the game breakdown. That's what I got for the game. Now I'm going to get into some individual players. And now I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm going to keep it a buck, man. I'm not gonna sit here and be all sunshine and rainbows about this. I'm gonna give my honest opinion. I don't know who's gonna see this and what's gonna come of it. Maybe no one sees it. Maybe this is just content I'm making for myself to watch on the side. Like, let's see how I did today. That is egotistical. So let me pause there. But anyway, I'm just letting you know I'm gonna keep it real. Now this first guy I'm gonna talk about had some shiny moments, had some I'm not impressed. Nothing pops out at me moments. And that's Kyu Blu Kelly. Now I've been hearing a lot of talk about him on X, and then I heard Pete Carroll say he's really making a push for that starting position. It's like, after watching week 2, I didn't pay attention to him in week 1. I ain't gonna front. So he might have blew up in week 1. I'd have to go back and rewatch that. I'm starting my show week 2, so I figure we're gonna start talking about week 2. Everyone already got shows out there about week 1, so I missed week 1. Whoop-de-doo. But here's what I got to say about Kyu Blu. Hold on, headphones got unplugged. Boom. All right. First drive, I was terribly unimpressed. Like, pretty sure there was even a reception or two that he should have been there to break up or something. I was terribly unimpressed. Except for at the end of the drive, he made one crucial play. And it was, I don't know if the play was drawn up like this by the offense, but it didn't necessarily look like it when I rewatched it over and over again. This is one of the plays I rewatched probably 5 to 10 times. Just kept rewinding, like trying to get a grasp of what was going on. So, and this is first drive of the game, so Purdy's out there. And Pearsall, he sends him in motion, brings him to the left side of the field, and that's where Kyu Blu is. Now, Pearsall goes up, and then he tries to go out, but Kyu Blu's there. I believe they kind of bumped into each other, and Pearsall cuts it back. Well, Purdy threw it right to that zone where I believe Pearsall was supposed to be. So I think Kyu Blu interrupted Pearsall's route right there, which that's great. I like that. That's a shiny moment. In the red zone, he did that in the red zone. Love it. I'll take that. I'll take that every day. Stopping a potential touchdown. I'll take that. Now he wasn't out there drive 2. The third drive that I watched with him, I don't think it might have been the actual third drive. That one was kind of hard to gauge because the plays just weren't going his direction. So, I mean, what are you supposed to do when you're on one side of the field and they're running to the opposite side? I mean, obviously he's hustling, he's doing what he's doing, but he ain't going to really be involved in the play. But one thing I did notice when they got to the goal line, they ended up scoring a touchdown this drive. They ran it in. Kyu Blu is on the right now, the right side. If we're looking from behind the offense, he's on the right side of the field. So that'd be the defensive left, offensive right. So they go to run to the right side. Kyu Blu stuffed old boy on the goal line. Stuffed him. It was only needed 2-3 yards. He stuffed him. They only let him get about halfway there. The next play, however, they ran it back the other way. Kyu Blu wasn't over there. They scored. They got it then. Ran it back the other. They didn't go outside either. They went up the middle, kind of. So, but I did like that goal line run stop by Kyu Blu. That was solid. So he had some shiny moments. I'm not sure how old the kid is. I believe I've heard his name before, but he's got some time. He's got some potential. I am gonna say though, I'm not as impressed as everyone's making it out to be. Like, we gotta have higher standards. This is the home of Charles Woodson. Come on, that's the GOAT in my eyes. Charles Woodson's the GOAT in my eyes. We gotta have higher standards for our DBs and cornerbacks. You know what I'm saying? Gotta have higher standards. Ashton Jeanty, just quick jot down, power runs, good vision, solid block on the deep incompletion. All right, so the first incompletion that Geno Smith and he even did this when it was over. They say overthrown, but everyone was also saying, like, if you watch the tape, you could see Thornton looking up at the ball early, which will inadvertently slow you down because you can't run full speed and be looking behind you. You're going to get off balance. That's just physics, period. So and if they say if he would have just trusted it and ran through, it would have been in the breadbasket. So I don't really chalk that up to an overthrow, but at the end of the day, it was an incompletion. But if you watch that play, if you go back and rewatch that play, you'll see Jeanty throw a nice block to give Geno some time. I liked it. He's not a big dude. Jeanty is not a big dude. He runs ginormous. He runs like Hulk. I don't care. Like him. All right. Let's dig into AOC. A little deeper into AOC. Obviously, slow in the pocket. He struggles with ball security at times. Stares down his receivers. I see it all the time with him. He's got to get out of that habit. If you're going to stare down a receiver you don't want to throw to. Draw the defense off balance. If you know you're throwing it to Myers, stare down Bowers. Stare down Bowers for the first second. And then look over to Myers and just chuck it. Let that thing go. Because you only got 2 seconds, especially when you're playing with the twos. And I just named two ones. A starting tight end and starting wide receiver. I thrown off there. My bad. Anyway, you get what I'm trying to say. Now, here's what Lincoln Kennedy says. And this isn't like an exact quote. This ain't verbatim, but it's a gist of what he said. He said he deserves some slack. He's on his 4th offensive coordinator in 3 seasons. He's a quarterback who he believes is capable of being in the league. And he also mentioned he would fetch you a nice ticket on the market. Meaning if you trade him, you'd get something decent back. So cut him some slack. 4th offensive coordinator in 3 seasons. That is troublesome to hear. Like, yeah, I can understand that. He believes he's got the talent to be in the league. Okay? And he'd fetch you a nice ticket on the market. All right. Well, here are my thoughts. I keep hearing that AOC gives us the best chance if Geno goes down, right? But I also keep hearing he's just not a fit in Chip Kelly's offense. They keep saying that. Talking heads say that. He's not a good fit in Chip Kelly's offense. All right. So he's got to learn Chip Kelly's offense now. His 4th offensive coordinator in 3 years. This is his 3rd year. So if that's the case, what's the point in holding on to him? If he's not going to show any promise in Chip Kelly's offense, this is the offense we're going to use going forward, why hold on to him? Are we keeping him as QB2 because we need to develop Cam Miller first? That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Need to develop Cam Miller first. We don't want to throw him out to the wolves too early, knock a young buck's confidence down, and then we see that time and time again. Young buck's confidence gets knocked down, and they either take a long time to get it back up or they just never do. So we don't want that happening. Okay, I can see that. Or are we keeping him because he shows promise? The way I see it, he's shown promise since we drafted him. Since we drafted him, we've all been looking at him like he could start. Granted, we had Minshew, who I thought a Minshew type. I said we should go get Minshew the season before that. No, it was actually early. It was the season we did get him. It was in the offseason before we got him. I was like, we should go get Minshew, because he just did well with the Colts. And I was thinking more as a, get him and then draft a quarterback. But we didn't draft a quarterback. So there was, they did half of what I thought they should do. Didn't work out. So yeah. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I'll give AOC the benefit of the doubt, considering he was drafted by the worst Raiders regime of all time. And obviously he's on his 4th offensive coordinator going into his 3rd season, so not looking good. I got just a small note on Laki Tasi, number 79, offensive lineman. Now this is the international player program guy. This dude's he's big. This is a big fella. This guy can move. This guy can move the D-line back. Like, it was nice to see. But it's also kind of funny to see because you could tell he doesn't have, like, the full NFL fundamentals developed yet. That was kind of choppy the way I said it. He doesn't have the full NFL fundamentals developed yet, right? You could tell he needs to work on that. He definitely needs development. Now I did see Graf. I watched his most recent show this morning. Oh, yesterday morning. I guess is a new day. And someone asked about him, and Graf straight up said, "I think he's gonna be practice squad." He likes him, but he thinks he's gonna be practice squad. I agree. Just because the way he's a big, powerful guy, and he's definitely got a lot of untapped potential, but he's really raw. Like he's an uncut gem right now. He needs some polishing. He needs some work. But he could be something one day. Maybe we get him on the practice squad. Maybe next year he might be good enough to be a backup. Then the year after that, maybe have a breakout season. I don't know, but I like what I'm seeing in the young buck. I really do. Honorable mentions. Now, I don't know if I'm going to get some heat for this because, like I said, I'm just a fan. Like, I don't have any knowledge about how to see if a left tackle or a left guard or right tackle or right guard's doing what they're supposed to. All I know is if they don't let that guy past them and they don't get called for a hold, they're good. If I see you out there blocking, that guy don't get past you, you don't get called for a hold, you're a good lineman in my eyes. That's how I see it. Number 60, left tackle, Charles Grant. Playing with the 2s and 3s out there. But I don't care. Dude was solid. I don't care. I think he let the guy through once, maybe twice the whole time he was out there. He looks solid. Like every time I'm watching him, I'm like, ooh, oh, he ain't getting past him. I know he's playing against the 2s and 3s, so it isn't the 1s, but there's potential there. He's a rookie. I believe we got him in the 3rd. And then we got another guy in the 3rd. Caleb Rogers, left guard. Played right next to him. They played right next to each other, 2 rookies on the left side when was it AOC? Might have been Cam Miller. Probably, I think it was both, actually. I think they played with both. I think they were the 2s, if I'm remembering correctly. But they were also, I was checking when they were drafted, I believe, I should have wrote it down just so I wouldn't mess up, but I believe they were drafted one after the other. And Charles Grant looked a lot better than Caleb Rogers, but Caleb Rogers showed some potential. He did. I think he allowed a sack, maybe even 2, but he showed potential. Other than that, but if you are allowing a sack, maybe 2, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself there. Charles Grant, though, number 60. Don't forget number 60. I can see him backing up Colton Miller. I like him. I'm gonna keep watching him. He's just one game. I mean, we see what just happened with Cam Miller. All right, and that's what I got for segment 2. Moving on to segment 3, Raiders content creators. Like I said, I watch them all, and I'm going to pick like 2 or 3 little tidbits to talk about each episode. So right now we're going on to this one. We're going to talk about Graf a little bit. Not much. I just seen he mentioned Geno Smith because he was at the game this week. He did the whole Raider alumni thing. I got to hang out with all the alum and stuff like that. That was, man, it's got to be great being him some days. You know what I mean? I ain't going to say every day because I don't know what everyone does in their daily life and responsibilities they bear. But it's got to feel good some days being Graf and going to things like that. Envious of you, brother. Keep doing your thing. You're killing it. He said he likes Geno Smith's leadership, not just on the field, but on the sideline too. I don't remember the exact quote, but I believe he was mentioning that Geno was out there hyping up the backups, the Cam Miller and AOC. It's nice to see. That's good. That's great because you hear about other organizations and their veteran quarterbacks talking about, it ain't my job to help this guy along. It's like, isn't this your team? Don't you guys want to win? Even if, like, what if you go down and you're just going to let old boy suck and now you guys ain't going to do nothing? Funny way to live life, but whatever. And that's really all I got for Graf, other than here's a new song. He just dropped a new track, a Raider anthem. Go check it out. I'll have the links in my description to the episode I'm referring to and to his new song. in every episode I'm referring to on any of these Raider content creators, I'll have the links in the description labeled. Next content creator, your boy Q. Now, you really can't call Q a content creator, can you? This dude a radio host. This dude is legit. This dude is too legit. Too legit to quit. Too legit to quit. Hot rod, baby. But, all right. Your boy Q from Locked On Raiders had a caller who brought up our secondary issues, which I am stressing over too. And I don't know what we're going to do about it. But I like hearing from your boy Q, especially because he's rubbing elbows with Lincoln Kennedy. So he's got knowledge of the game, right? Ooh, I need a drink. Throat getting a little dry. 1 second. So he had a caller, I believe it's actually a text message, bring up secondary issues. And Q responded, Q basically said he thinks the Raiders are going to be forced to go pick up a veteran cornerback or safety or something. Just because the way it's looking, the way it's shaping up, it's just, like, what else are we going to do? We're just going to get torched? Like, what else are we going to do? He also pointed out that he thinks our defense is really reliant on our defensive line getting pressure every time. Now, I understand having a defense be reliant on your defensive line just getting pressure, but every single time, because obviously, and he says this too, when the defensive line gets pressure, the quarterback then has to throw quicker, so the coverage doesn't have to cover as long. You know what I mean? Because once you get guys running out and doing their route, if that quarterback's got all day, they can then improvise, and now you're just playing cat and mouse out there. And if you're in zone, it's a savvy receiver. He's going to find the soft spot in the zone fairly quick. We can't be giving quarterbacks 4 or 5 seconds to throw the ball. 2 to 3 tops. You see what happens to us when we get 2 to 3 seconds to throw tops? We get sacked. Which really, realistically, that's all you should get in the NFL is 2 to 3 seconds. Make a decision, let it loose. Which, to an average person, even me while I say it, that sounds insane, but that's the fact of the matter. These guys are paid truckloads of money. Not all of them, but most of them. Pay truckloads of money. They're consummate professionals. They are top tier in this craft. That's what they got to do. 2 to 3 seconds. Let it loose. However, all this could change once our starters are out there all game. Because, and that, he says that, I missed a part. We've only had 2 sacks this preseason. 2 sacks. Like, what? We ain't getting no pressure. But, like I said, our starters ain't out there all game, so what are we going to do? That's from your boy Q from Locked On Raiders. I'll have his link in the description as well. And your boy Q has another show, the Raider Squad Show with Lincoln Kennedy. And I apologize because there's another host and I forget her name. I can picture her face. I can see her face. I know her voice. Can't remember her name. I'm going to have to, I'm tripping. It's a flagrant foul on me. Send my ass to the gulag. My bad. I apologize. I should remember your name. So Lincoln Kennedy, this kind of, I shouldn't be surprised, but I am surprised, Lincoln Kennedy straight up said, I don't think Alex Kappa makes the final roster. He said that, word for word. That's a quote. I quoted that one. He also said, I'm not waiting for him anymore, and it's no slight against him. So he's not taking shots, he's not taking jabs. It's not what he's doing. He's just being realistic about the predicament this team is in. Right? He's just being a man about it. He's not throwing any jabs, nothing like that. This just is what this is. Because he says there's no slight against him. If you're hurt and can't do it, I certainly respect that. But we're on a performance-based evaluation and the show must go on. Again, I'm not waiting for him anymore. It's no slight against him. If you're hurt and can't do it, I certainly respect that. but we're on a performance-based evaluation, and the show must go on. Lincoln Kennedy has been a huge advocate since a year or two ago with, hey, the O-line ain't doing well because they're not playing together. You keep switching guys out. You keep getting a new orientation of guys in there every week. They need time to get to know each other, how they're going to move, what they're going to do, each other's habits. They got to build that chemistry, right? That what he just said about Alex Kappa, that directly correlates with what he's been preaching for the last 2-3 seasons. So I get it. It makes sense. The best ability is availability, and that's facts, right? There ain't really much. There's not much more you can say. Who knows though? He could. What happens if he's practicing right now? I mean, 7 in the morning. I don't think they're at practice yet, but show up to practice. He might be good to go. Go check things out. He might just blow the coaches away. But like Lincoln Kennedy said, that O-line has to have time to gel, to mesh. Point blank, period. All right, takeaways from today. Secondary needs improvement in the middle of the field is key. Come on. Protect that middle of the field, guys. And don't get burned on that. Don't get burned either. Watch number 60, left tackle, Charles Grant. Got to see if he's consistent and doing his thing. Cam Miller or AOC for QB2. I'm leaning. It's going to be AOC. Cam Miller needs to develop. I don't want to throw him to the Wolves. I don't want to throw him to the Wolves. He needs time to develop. Let him develop. I'm not a fan of having AOC out there right now, even though I like the kid. No slight on him. Excuse me. It's just, what can you do at this point? All right. And that's it. That's the episode. Friday, I'm going to do a pregame show for the Cardinals matchup. I won't just have stuff from our writers that I'm reading and watching. I'll be checking on Cardinals writers, see what they're doing, what they're watching. A little sneak peek. I don't think they're going to play the starters. Very little, if at all, is what I'm hearing so far. It sounds like the Gannon he's going to let them chill, and they're going to use it as an evaluation game, not really a dress rehearsal game, more of an evaluation. But we'll get into that on that show on Friday. Probably be same time I record it, same time I drop it. Go ahead, subscribe to your boy. Would appreciate it. Follow me on X @ where's it at? @ Cal Davis. Love you, Raider Nation. Peace.